Pipes like this PVC and ductile iron pipe are buried 4 feet deep through the Magruder property. A series of recent court rulings has shifted the burden of proof and discrimination lawsuits onto the employer. Now, if you follow me, you'll see that the shelter is equipped with a bathroom. There's a laundry room. As you can see behind me, I've got a mountain of snow that's almost up to my shoulder.
McCaskill's main goal tonight is to talk about Obama's health care reform and clear up rumors, as well as take Missourians' opinions and questions.
The Class C misdemeanor, which is up to 15 days behind closed doors. $2 million in 90 days. Candidates for the Missouri Senate seat are getting serious about getting money. It's clear skies and warm weather here in Houston, Texas, which is a perfect combination for football. Even though the bridge is behind schedule, all that's left is to pour concrete onto these grids. I just wanted to show you, they actually gave away authentic pieces of the Berlin Wall.
With one hand on the meter, another on the wheel, and his eyes on the open road, taxi driver John Thornton knows how to handle the streets of Columbia.
Drive like I've been driving, you know, cautiously, safely, and I'm always looking around.
But not everyone drives as cautiously as Thornton, which has led Columbia to install 3 new red light cameras. One camera at northbound Stadium in Providence, another at the southbound of Stadium in Providence, and one more at Stadium and Forum.
Right now I'm driving on Providence toward downtown Columbia, and even though the light is green, I might still end up on camera.
I went through them lights before and the light was green and it was taking our pictures. I mean, just flashing constantly.
People coming up Providence Road heading into downtown, that camera is still not functioning properly. So what that might mean is that if somebody goes through the intersection, even when the light is green, they may see a flash from the camera. They can rest assured they are not going to receive a citation. We're still working on that camera right now.
And while more Columbia residents come to a screeching halt to avoid making the mistake of going through the red, John says he'll keep driving like he always does, on the defense. Sophia Beausoleil, KMU8 News, Columbia.
Sleeping in bed, and about 12:15, I was awakened to my pager going off.
A page that would lead Ladonia firefighter Brian Davis to this ditch on September 5th, 2009.
The officers there directing traffic, and upon my arrival, the patient was in the back of our rescue unit.
Davis arrived at the scene, discovered a car that swerved off the road. He helped clean up the scene, drove the fire truck back to the station, and went home. But if Davis knew what was coming next, he might not have sat behind the wheel of the fire truck.
And they said, "No, you don't have a license, correct?" And I said, "No." And they said, "Well, you're not allowed to drive the fire truck then." I said, "Well, that's not what I was informed, but, you know, if that's the case, I'm sorry, it won't happen again." And they said, "No, we have to take you in for it."
So they arrested him. That's because Davis had his license revoked in 2005 for assaulting an officer and causing an accident while in possession of a controlled substance. He served 160 days in jail.
I was in the wrong, and I served my time for it, and I just feel like I'm continually having to repay for what I've did in my past.
In Missouri, you need a valid driver's license to drive a fire truck, and if your license is revoked, you have to apply for a limited driving privilege. But Davis thought he was in the clear.
I was shocked. I couldn't believe that they had done this.
Jerry Johnson is the president and assistant fire chief for Ladonia and Rural Fire Department. He gave Davis the okay. If he was the only person at the station and there was an emergency, he could take out the fire truck.
He had, at least my authority and my understanding, that under Missouri law it was permissible for somebody with an expired driver's license to drive an emergency vehicle to and from a scene. Only an emergency vehicle.
They said that I knew I was breaking the law, and I said I didn't, because, I mean, if I was going to break the law, I would have drove myself to the fire station. I wouldn't have had my wife and 5-month-old baby drive me to the fire station.
Davis says he's driven the fire truck to scenes before and nothing ever happened.
It seemed personal to me, ma'am. I don't know. I can't. That's a question I still have.
For now, all Davis says he can do is keep looking forward. Sophia Beausoleil, KMU8 News, Ladonia. With a quick flick and a click of a video game controller, the Fott family knows how to have a fun-filled afternoon playing video games, just like any other family.
Oh my God.
But there's something unique about this Texas family.
We just fell in love, and, you know, one thing after another, and here we are with 8 kids.
Stacy and her husband Keith Fott adopted 4 children: Alice, Aaron, who has autism, Kira, who is deaf, and Dee, who has brittle bone disease. They also raised 1 child through foster care and have 3 biological children of their own.
We got into foster care because we had a relative that had a son that needed a place to live, and so he came to live with us for a while. And then we saw the need of how many children there were out there that didn't have forever homes.
13-year-old Dee has osteogenesis imperfecta, or OI, which means his bones are extremely fragile. But even though Dee is the size of a 1.5-year-old, it doesn't stop him from living life to the fullest.
Dee has got the best personality he's just so positive all the time.
Dee is in musical theater and also choir, and he performs. He loves to sing and he loves to act.
And like any other boy in 8th grade, Dee has a love for football and is a huge fan of one Missouri Tiger.
Will Ebner.
Dee's older sister, Crystal, went to Friendswood High School with Missouri linebacker Will Ebner.
And we started hanging out, we became good friends, and I met his mother, and we've remained good friends for a while.
When Will was out on that football field, Dee felt like he was there, making those plays with him. So they have a little bond.
Every home game, Dee and his family would sit in these stands to watch Will play at Friendswood High School. But it was after the game that Dee really got to connect with Will and the team.
But I would go to him after the games and get to let him meet all my teammates and just try to get him a part of the team as much as I could.
So when the Missouri Tigers went to Houston for the Texas Bowl, Dee reunited with Will, and just like the good old days, Dee also met Will's team.
But he'll still be there, so.
From Sean Weatherspoon to Blaine Gabber and even Coach Gary Pinkel, Dee linked up with some Missouri Tigers at the DePelchin Children's Center in Houston, Texas, and he even received a few autographs.
They're cool people. Some of them are going to go to the NFL, and so, it's going to be awesome.
We know that Dee will never play, football, and that's probably one of his favorite sports is football. And he would give anything to be able to be out there on that football field. And so through Will, Dee is able to live his dream.
And even though the Tigers lost the Texas Bowl, Dee still loved every moment because once again, Dee got to live his dreams through his #1 Tiger. Sophia Beausoleil, KMU8 Sports, Houston, Texas.
This is KOMU 8 News at 10.
$2 million in 90 days. Candidates for the Missouri Senate seat are getting serious about getting money. Good evening. I'm Sophia Beausoleil in for Angie Bailey. Dave, it's chilly. It's rainy. Is it going to be like this for the rest of the weekend? To keep the heat on still?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Dave.
Okay.
15 people met tonight in Jefferson City to discuss one thing: houses. Northwestern R1 school in Mendon, Sheraton County will be closed tomorrow. Today, 60 students out of about 160 total were out because of either the seasonal flu or strep throat. Some high stepping took place tonight in Columbia. The 19th annual Calvary Episcopal Charity Horse Show kicked off this morning at the Midway Expo Center. Across mid-Missouri, families fill the pews in local churches every Sunday. At Sacred Heart Catholic Church, the scene is the same while the language is different. Well, Dave, I'm kind of glad that I can turn the heat down this weekend a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. I don't think we'll be able to shut it completely off, but you might want to give it a try. Who knows? You could save a few dollars that way,
yeah,
right?
Possibly. I hope so.
Hey, tomorrow you're headed to Oklahoma, but we're headed to Mexico. Week 8 of Friday Night Fever. The Hornets versus the